In today's Parents in Action, many families may not know that sending your child to school is not a legal requirement in this country, but it is legally required for kids to be educated. Over the last decade, the number of students being educated through non-traditional platforms like online schools or homeschooling has skyrocketed. There are now more than 1.5 million kids in this country being homeschooled, and that number continues to grow. But why? Tampa-Bay-Parenting-Magazine editor Angela-Ardolino is here now to point out some of the advantages of homeschooling and also to help you decide if it's right for your family. Good afternoon, Angela.
Hi.
Always good to see you. You know, a lot of parents love the fact that with homeschooling, they don't have to abide by any rules set by the Department of Education or any private institution. They can do what they want, so they love the flexibility of homeschooling.
They do. It's very flexible. I think what some parents, there's always advantages and disadvantages to everything. The advantages are to have the flexible schedule, for you to be able to plan out your day however you want, that you can take advantage of the museums during the day, going to the History Museum or the Children's Museum where the kids can learn hands-on. Some of the disadvantages is that if you don't schedule everything, other things might pile up, you know, housework. If you're teaching inside the house, then you're going to make a bigger mess with, you know, with the lessons, whether it's an arts and crafts or a history lesson. So those are type of things that they forget about, is how much time it takes to homeschool your child. But again, if you're flexible and you make sure that you schedule everything out, it really is a great advantage of doing it. One of the things I found the most is the biggest disadvantage is socialization of the children. It's really important that if you do homeschool your kids, that you do find opportunities for them to socialize with other children.
Like other parent and kid groups too.
And the good thing is that there's so many people homeschooling their kids now. There are groups that come together and take field trips. They even have dances and proms, you know, for homeschool kids so that they can socialize with other kids. I think that's the most important thing to remember, and the time commitment. It's just not as easy as going, okay, you're staying home and I'm going to be your teacher. There's a lot of time.
Well organized,
you have to be very disciplined, not only yourself to make sure that everything else that you need to do gets done, but that your child is doing what they need to do.
Well, let me ask you about this too. It seems to be perfect for people who decide that they want to create a religious curriculum, or for people who have kids with special needs as well.
Absolutely, and people who like to travel or need to travel and want to bring their child with them and are able to do it. So there's a lot of advantages to it. It's just some people don't think about all the time commitment that it takes to homeschool your child. So it is, if they have a learning disability or they're just not making it in the classroom session, there's nothing better than being able to teach them, know you can stay on a subject until they get it or understand it, make their bedroom or the kitchen or whatever conducive to a learning environment so that you will get a lot of it. But it takes a lot of time and commitment to do that.
One of the things that a lot of parents, working parents, talk about when their kids are in school, they don't have enough family time. But with homeschooling, a lot of those parents do talk about being able to increase the family time along with education.
I mean, you're cutting out the driving to school and the homework from school, but that still exists. The homework still exists. So just like anything, if you want more family time, then put it in that schedule, that between this time and this time, we're cleaning up the house. From this time to this time is math. This time to this time is science. This time to this time, we're going to sit down and have dinner as a family and then do an activity. So it's just a matter of scheduling it in there.
Yeah, and it's a matter, too, of preference, you know, whatever works for your family. But again, it sounds like organization is key when it comes to homeschooling for both the parents and the student.
It is. And you know, it's possible to change your mind. I mean, I wouldn't recommend starting it, you know, do it for a year and then go back. But you do have that option that if you do feel like it's overwhelming or too much work, there are plenty of wonderful schools out there who help kids with special needs, or private schools that are smaller, that have smaller classrooms. So there is something out there for everyone if it does end up being something that doesn't work for your family.
Yeah, always great advice. Thanks. Well, Angela's going to be back with us next week, and we'll talk about a really difficult subject. She's going to help us talk to kids about death. And again, if you missed any of the points today on homeschooling and you want to share this information with another parent, just go to our website, abcactionnews.com. You can also find help with a variety of parenting issues on the Tampa Bay Parenting website. That's tvparenting.com. And while you're there, you can sign up for a free subscription to the Tampa Bay Parenting Magazine.